This is 30 seconds of your recent answer. Please watch it. The question is about it. I can't hear it because... How can I do this? I'll just take this out.
You should see how life goes around you, and you cannot get anything from that. The only thing you could ever have is your liberation, nothing else. Would that life be the same beautiful gift to you like the one now? Yes. And I wouldn't be deformed. And I wouldn't be homeless, and I wouldn't be alone. Because none of those things are who you are. I would be love. You should see how life goes.
Wow. Answer. You know, lovely thing, this is beautiful as it is. It would be beautiful from Muji or Spira as well. But hearing it in your presentation is like what I would be dead. And temporarily I would be in heaven because of some mistake. But let us scratch this thing a bit. Do you hear yourself? It's like somebody would say that the gravity does not exist. I said that you would not have the delicious food you eat every day. You would not have the pets around you ever. The nice people who turn towards you would love you now. They would go to the other side of the street from you. The beautiful men who you can get so easily now, they would not give a shit about you ever. And you would not be like now that you already got everything. Life cannot give you anything more really important. You would be hungry, longing and wishing for life, and you would have just the pain and the frustration answering of those. So could you try to explain to me in more detail the first time that the love of what the heck you would be in that imagined life instead of being the agony of living hell on earth? See, what I'm pointing to is a freedom beyond form. It's beyond this and that. So it's not dependent on if I have family, if I have friends, if I have lovers or no lovers. And you know, I just had so many experiences in this short life. This isn't something which is questionable for me. Ultimately, I don't know what life throws at me. Maybe it throws this stuff at me and I would go into suffering. You don't know really what's going to happen and what's not going to happen. But I just seen a freedom that's not bound to things. And you seem to have some perspective on me that I've never had difficult life events. I got into this subject so young because I was suffering so much. And that suffering so much when you're a teenager and you get into the subject, it's not suffering because you weren't the popular girl at school or because your parents had a few arguments. I really, really had a difficult time in my youth. I saw the beauty and the ugliness in life. And things happened to me that traumas happened to me that might never, ever leave the cells of this body. And the cells of these bodies have to carry those traumas that happened. I had some very shocking and difficult things happen. And that might never leave this body. I've talked about it a little bit in talks before, but because of the situation, and because my family don't wish for me to talk about it or to talk about what happened in public, I can't talk about it. When you talk about these things, it's involving other people. But some of the things were so shocking that it, it's something that might never leave these cells. Just like with Khaleesi, she used to get beaten with the spade and the broom, and if you take any object and that's like that in your hand, she runs and cowers. And I wasn't beaten by brooms, but I did have things that really shocked me, and now I live with that every day. I live with that, so I can say that it's humans in which shocked me, and and I walk and I live in a society, and and I've never let that stop me or set me back. I've travelled alone as a female in India. I've lived in so many different countries and so many different places. I'm so independent. I live alone. I have the courage to always step out of the box, even if I don't have much money or support. I can go for weeks without talking to anyone at all. I can quite happily not communicate with friends. So this projection onto me that I've never really put this message to the test is a projection, because I fit that nice image of blonde hair who can get men, who has the perfect life. And since the awakening, I've had some really difficult things like happen as well since the awakening. Not as difficult as my childhood, but a couple of shocking things happened. Like when I was in India a couple of times ago, this guy tried to rape me at bottle point. At bottle point, he smashed the bottle, and but I'm a warrior. I screamed my little ass off and ran. Yeah. And then when we reported it to the Indian police, yeah, it's a problem in India. You don't want to report things to the police. But I've had other things happen as well. It's still been life. I got chased by a snake the other day, a few days ago. And so this has been tested, and there is something that's free, that's beyond us and beyond our story. And it doesn't mean these bodies aren't traumatized. Like I can still have reactions of fear if humans do these things that shocked me in childhood. But it's not me. It's not me. I'm something that's so vast and free. That's the character inside of who I am. Who I am is infinite, is absolute love, no matter what happens. Doesn't mean the character doesn't scream or get angry, but who I am, who these words are really coming from, they're coming through the form of Lisa, but who they're really coming from is always free. So that's why I said so confidently, like if I had all these bad things happen to me, I wouldn't be those things, because that's never who I've been. I've never been this pretty blonde girl, this young girl, whatever. Those things change. Whatever you imagine me to be, that's not who I've ever been. So maybe that helps answer it better, Open Eye Han.